So now with it proper lockdown again, I'm just sat at home, I'm working at home doing YouTube and whatever, and the doorbell just went, so I was dead excited, ran downstairs, postman's been, and he's brought my new Nauticam housing from Mike's dive cameras. So what I'm going to do, run downstairs, make myself a brew, and then I'll come back upstairs and we'll do the unboxing together so you can see how excited I am. It's like Christmas morning. I really can't wait, but I need a brew, so back in 5. Hi, I'm Andy Northern Diver and welcome to this first unboxing video on my YouTube channel. In this episode, I'm going to be unboxing my new Nauticam housing for the camera I'm actually videoing this on now, which is the Olympus OMD EM1 Mk2. So I've had the Olympus housing for quite some time and it's been quite good, but I can't deny when I go to dive sites and people are using a more professional housing like a Nauticam or anything like that, I get gear envy, and it doesn't take long before it burns a hole inside me and I have to go out and spend an absolute fortune upgrading kit that there's nothing wrong with, but to get high-end kit that I can get top results with and ultimately I'm going to get more longevity of use from. So my Olympus housing now hopefully has been sold and I've saved up enough money to buy this Nauticam housing, so as soon as we get out of lockdown I'll go diving with and be no better of a photographer, or maybe, we'll see. So if you've not subscribed to this channel already, there's a little button below, just click subscribe, that's great, and at the side of that you'll see this little bell icon. Clicking that will give you a notification every time we post a new video, so that's always helpful for you. But certainly at the end of it, if you've enjoyed it and it's been of some use to you, or you've thought I've done alright, give us a thumbs up, will you? So let's crack on with the unboxing. So I've got my Stanley knife. Just if you're going to do something similar to this, just be careful that you're looking at your Stanley knife and not at the camera, because you may cut your hand off and I don't want to get done for that. So before I move the camera to the overhead position, I'll just open up the box, because this is not going to be very good if you're looking from above, is it? So let's get this box open. It's pretty hard to tell where the cuts are. Is there one in between? So we put some tape on here. We've not messed around with this box. So I don't cut through something that's expensive and important. Right, so straight away I can see there's flipping tons of packing, bits of cardboard, these little things that look like Watsits, these little polystyrene I guess they are, they're flipping great. They squash up into nothing, they're crazy stuff. So I'll move the camera overhead now so you can see what's in the box and what I'm taking out, other than all this packing which I'm sure nobody really cares to see. So I'll get that out of the way, move the camera, I'll show you the rest. Right, so I've took out as much of packaging as I possibly can. There's a lot of bubble wrap in there and screwed up big bits of brown paper that just keeps everything from slamming around, and now I'll try and go through what I've ordered. So I've got myself the actual housing here, so the stickering on the top lets me know it's that. I've also bought myself a big fisheye dome, that's the 140mm one. I've got a port extension which is a 17mm. It just brings it out ever so slightly and allows the lens that I own to fit with inside that. I then got myself the vacuum valve. So I don't know if you know about the Nauticam housing, but you can add this and it allows you to understand underwater if that case is starting to let in water or let out gas or air. So you pressurise the actual housing, and if the pressure is dropping, a little light will light up and let you know that you need to get that camera out of the water quick or it's going to die. And then I've also added a macro port, because I use two different lenses underwater. I've got the 8mm fisheye and I've got the 60mm macro lens. So that's what these two are for. So we'll go through them now. So I'll put these slowly back into the box and we'll hopefully see. Well, let's start with the smallest one. So comes already in a nice beautiful little bag. I don't know if I'll ever use this again. Maybe I could put pound coins in it and just save them up. But already looking at that now, the engineering on that, I'll put some sort of stills on that I can take of this just so it stands out a little bit easier for you. But you can see the engineering on this is quite beautiful. The ring's got a lot of fixings on it. Let's try and zoom this in a little bit, see if you can see. Oh, it's zooming out. So the engineering on this is pretty remarkable, to be fair. And there's rather than just sort of a very menial way of clicking your housing in and the rings together, there's obviously proper mechanics in there. That looks pretty beautiful, that. Now these two zeros on the top here, zeros being closed, one being open, you line the zeros up, and then once you turn it and they're lined up, that means that they're all in alignment and it's done. The machined edges and mechanical parts of it, there's certainly the male side that mounts up to the body of the housing is most likely to get damaged, so for that it comes with a nice little cover. Comes with some spur O-ring grease and a spur O-ring. So I'll keep that in the bag for now till I decide to build it and put it back in the box. So if a simple port extension ring is that beautiful, let's see what the rest of it does. So the one that most people get envy of is people's ports, and certainly a dome port. The size of it, people get a little bit excited about them. So this is not the biggest port available, but it's the correct dome port for my lens. So it comes with a little package. It's got some O-rings in, it's got grease, which is great. Now the dome, the glass is protected by this nice neoprene cover, which just fits over the edge of it, and look at that. Oh well, the camera picks that up. Try and keep my fingers off it because it is glass, I don't want it to get all marked and dirty. So Nauticam logo etched in there as well. Now that is bigger than the dome I've already got on my Olympus housing. So having a domed face to this port, it allows the light to sort of refract differently, and you get a much flatter image as opposed to some curvature at the end of using a fisheye lens. So it is important when using a fisheye to have a domed port on it. Now this is the right one for my lens. You can see them where they're about 3 feet across, and people think, oh, I need the biggest dome port because that's what most of us are like. But actually the right one for the right lens serves a much better purpose than having the biggest one you can find. Now I always find these quite difficult to get on, but I suppose the most important bit is that it fits and it's tight, and having it on properly means that your lens is going to be protected, certainly when you're throwing it around on a dive boat. But as you can see, I'm kind of fiddling with this, also trying to make sure that it's lined up for the camera and talk, and getting a bit of a dry mouth because I've finished my cup of tea already. So there you go, there's the Nauticam 140mm domed port. Comes with a few bits in the kit just to prolong its life. So there's an O-ring, because that's always going to become damaged over time, and a nice hard case so we can throw it around if we need to, or put it in storage with a nice little bit of embroidery on there, which is always beautiful, isn't it? So there's the 140mm dome port. Next on my list, I've got the Marcro port. This is the 65 for the Marcro 60 lens from Olympus. Again, another beautiful, almost like brushed velvet bag. Now, straight away, this stands out to me as a much better piece of equipment than I've got already. So it looks like there's a little cold shoe mount that perhaps you could mount a tripod underneath here. So when you're trying to take one of those shots that's quite awkward because you're using a macro lens and you're so close up, the lens could be moving around quite a lot, but through your viewfinder it looks like it's massive. So if you can put it on some sort of stabilisation, I don't doubt that that's really, really helpful. So it's just a flat piece of glass on there, nothing really much to look at. But then down the other end we've got the same sort of machinery, Nauticam logo inside it, and as you can see, it's the O-rings around the outside needs to be protected and lubricated. So I'd be a massive advocate of taking that off every now and again, giving it a clean down and just re-lubing it and putting it back on. So similarly then, I've got a couple of O-rings and a bit of grease for that. And then the last one before our big exciting reveal, this is the M14 Vacuum Valve Two. So it comes with a pump, as some people would say, but it actually pulls out air, so it's an extractor rather than a pump. Comes with a tool to fasten the valve on, and then the valve itself is all sealed up. So we'll pull that out. Absolutely nothing at all for the sort of money we pay for it, but nonetheless, let's take it to bits. I'll zoom in a little bit, make it a little bit easier to see on this. So like I said, the two tools come in the box, and then on top of that we've got the valve. Give that a second, it'll zoom in. Come on, focus. Right, so this bit goes into the camera housing, and this bit is where the extractor gets mounted on the top. You just push that on there, and it withdraws as you pull the handle out. As you pull the handle out like that, it withdraws the atmosphere from within the housing, and then in turn pulls out this lever here. So when you're done with the housing, you press that in, that'll vent the atmosphere so they become balanced, and then you can open the housing again. Now, to protect that from getting punched whilst you're in the water, as a cap, much like a dust cap has on your car or your bike. So that sits on there, and I'll make another video shortly on how to fit that. So they're somewhat exciting, I suppose, for someone who's been waiting to get a Nauticam for a while. So there you go, there's that. So this is the one I've been probably the most excited for opening. Quite a well protected box to be delivered in, and then it comes in a very beautiful looking case. So I'll get all this cardboard out of the way. I'm going to just zip it open first. Almost like a cool box. Looks like quite a tough case. And oh my word, now that for me is a thing of beauty, but I should imagine you can't really see it, so let's get it out so you can. Wow, look at that. So first things first, this is for, this is like I said a Nauticam, and it's for the Olympus EM1 Mk2, which is obviously stamped on the top of there. Now one thing that stands out for me is it's so much more rugged than the one I'm used to using, and I think largely because it's got these plates on the top that stop any flex within the frame or the handles or the tray, if you want to call it that. Now it is a thing of beauty. It's been machine made and purposely made for my camera. Tell you what, I've waited a while to get one of these, so I am flipping excited. What I do like is that because the tray is part of the housing, it comes with 3 positions that you can put a tripod on, which if you were using, let's say, a macro port, or you were doing any really close-up fine photography, or you're waiting for a particular thing to happen, or even videoing, you know, if you can stabilise your stuff and put it on what's known as grip and sit it there in the water and still, you know, your images are going to be that bit better. Now, obviously if something's swimming past, it's probably not ideal, but you've got the means to. Now what I do like about this kit more than anything is that everything is to reach and very easy whilst holding on to it to operate. So if you're anything like me and you do operate your camera using full manual, you know, you want to be able to get to the settings and change things that you're possibly going to need throughout the dive. And these buttons, although they're small, they're really positive in the reaction. And what I've found is if you're wearing a big set of gloves, it might be worth just taking in a pencil and just pushing some of these buttons whilst using your pencil and your big gloves. Now if you wanted to get into this and you wanted to set this off ready to put the port on, what you need to do is press the lens release, press that down first, and this little grey tab that's on the top of the red lever, press that down, push it open, and that should just pop off really easily. Let's have a look inside and see what's going on. So if you're looking at the housing body on the back, you see this little red push down, and then the sort of spin around disc that opens up the door of the housing. So what I noticed as soon as I open the camera body is there's electronics that run along the bottom edge. There's a battery here that once you pull the tag out, that'll be obviously working. You turn the operating switch on, and then what it does is there's a little sensor down the bottom. So under the assumption that water is running along the bottom, those 2 contacts will pick up that water and it'll send a signal round. And what you've got then is an LED on the back here, and when that changes colour, it shows you that you've got a leak detected or there's water inside. So it's really important for me, after having a camera flooded last year, that I've got this system and it's working, so I can note that there's probably a leak and I need to get out of the water as quick as I can. Okay, so that's my first unboxing video, and that was of this Nauticam housing that I've bought for my Olympus camera that, like I said before, I'm videoing this on already, so I can't show it off with the camera in. What I will do though is make a couple more videos of how I assemble it, how I get the leak detector working, and how I put the camera in, because I don't know. So no doubt when somebody else buys one, they'll want to know. So if I read the instructions and make a video, you might watch it, you might not. So I want to say thanks to Yussi. He works at Mike's Dive Cameras, and he's such a nice guy when it comes to needing a bit of help on what you need, whether you need the port or you need the ring or you need the different housing. He also gave me a 15% discount on this housing because it was an ex-display model, so I can't thank him enough for that. So I've brought it down to about £3,000 just for this setup. Now then you add the camera on, and then your strobes and your arms and your focus lights. You can double that on just other kit. So just, you know, if you're going to get into this, be aware it's addictive, it's expensive, but it can lead on to much better things than you think. So big thanks and shout out to Yussi at Mike's Dive Cameras. Not a sponsored video, not got anything other than a 15% discount. Didn't even get a sticker, although I did ask for one. Cheeky get that I am. So thanks for watching. If it's been of some use to you, please give us a thumbs up, and if you've not already, please hit the subscribe button below. That way you get access to all of our other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. See you on Insta.